Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, allow me a few minutes just to address this issue. Apparently, a gentleman called, let me not call him a gentleman, but for the sake of the conversation, his name is Caleb Hamisi. I don't know exactly what his position is in Kenyan politics, but he had an interview and his quote has been going around when he said that in his 40 years or in 40 years, Raila hatred has been taken another level. Hello, Pritikal Kaur. Nice seeing you, my friend. I'll be here briefly, 30 minutes max, but I want to give my view on this matter. As you see, I just read on online that the NIS is actually helping Raila Odinga in his quest for the AUC seat. Now, there's news, as I alluded to yesterday, that Kenyans are getting more creative by the minute. Some Kenyans figured out, did their research, and found emails of African heads of state. And they are in an aggressive campaign to make sure that Raila Odinga does not succeed in his quest for the AUC chairperson seat. Now, his staunch followers want to create a narrative. As you know, majority of pro-government, pro-Raila supporters, especially the new found alliance between ODM and UDA on the ODM faction side of things, they've been out there trying to convince us that Raila's tribe is the problem, that Raila is being rejected, and the people that are rejecting Raila are tribalists. This is utter rubbish. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Hamisi is an imbecile, a lunatic, an idiot, an nincompoop. This man feels like he's doing the work of God when he's out there trying to portray Raila as the victim here. Let me walk you through the reality and why majority of Kenyans are sick and tired of this octogenarian. Let me be very brief, succinct, as the English would say. But before I do so, please take a minute and like this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, share, like, comment. And if you're going to watch it on repeat, please do the same. Now, here's the thing. Raila's minions, most of them are clinically psychopaths. Not only sycophants, but psychopaths. Men and women who can think beyond their nose. Robotic imbeciles. I don't care if you are from the same tribe as Raila or not. But any Kenyan with a functioning brain cell would know that this man is nothing but a political con man. His contribution to Kenya has only been transactional. Transaction in the sense that he has always gained from any involvement he's been involved in politically. I don't want to hear about the heydays that Raila spent 9 years in committee being tortured by Moi. I don't even believe it at this point, given this man's recent activities. I don't believe it. It could have been that Moi was hiding him in his basement. Maybe he was working for Moi. I don't believe Raila was in committee at this point. Miguna raised a good question when he was in Ogina, whatever show, August show, Obina show. He said, everybody that was arrested after the failed 1982 coup d'etat, military coup d'etat, was hanged to death. But Raila was spared by Moi. Why was Raila spared by Moi? Some people say Raila actually snitched on the guys who died, who were hanged. Okay? Now, let's fast forward to 2017, because that's when Raila really started showing his true colors. In 2007, we can argue that the international community intervened in Kenyan politics after we nearly descended into a civil war. I remember Condoleezza Rice brought the news from Washington, jetted in, letting Kibaki and Raila know that, hey, boys, get your act right or else. And even the Martha Karua, who's today pretending to be the Iron Lady, was one of those folks who was slapped with a visa ban. And his son at the time, who was going to school in the US of A, was deported because she took an intransigent position. She did not want to negotiate. She was pugilistic in her approach. In fact, it is said that she almost got into a fist fight with none other than William Samoei Ruto at the time, because they were said to be the two most hard-headed negotiators at the time. But this is not about Martha. This is about Raila the conman, Agwambo Thiringenyi, the biggest conman, political conman in Kenya's history. 2027, when the majority of Kenyans knew and understood, watching full video clips, news, reading all over about Adani, it was clear as day that Adani is a corrupt company. But Raila shamelessly called a press conference telling us about how wonderful Adani is. Have we forgotten that? Do you see the disconnect? Do you see why people don't trust Raila? Do you see why people do not like him, are sick and tired of him. When the Gen Zs, who represent majority of the Kenyan people, went to the streets, and Raila and Sifuna and others came to Kware pretending to mourn the deaths of the young people who lost their lives, who were shot down by Ruto. He promised the youth there that he will not enter into a dialogue with William Samoei Ruto. In fact, when he mentioned the word dialogue, the youth almost started booing him. Sifuna had to whisper something in his ear to tell him, please don't say that word. And Raila went ahead and promised Kenyans that he will not enter into government or have a dialogue with William Samoei Ruto, only to join Ruto a few weeks later in something that is called broad-based government. Do you see this kind of betrayal? Because even at that point, some people still were blinded, fooled by Raila Odinga to that point. But it was clear as day when the Opion dies, the Hassan Johos, and the rest of those idiots who resigned from ODM and joined the government, the cabinet, Ruto's government, and Raila said publicly that he sent his experts to rescue and help William Samoei Ruto's government, a government that has been rejected by the people. As I said, his betrayal did not start yesterday. 2017, it was the same thing. I will remind you, for the emptieth time, when Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, using the Mungiki in the police force, sent the police to gun down people in Kondele, dumping body in Rivayala, receiving direct instruction from Matiangi and Uhuru Kenyatta and the Maina Jengas, gunning down the youth who believed that Raila was a leader who will lead them to Canaan. Men and women were gunned down ruthlessly. Thousands died in Nyanza province after these young men and women risked their lives to see that Raila Odinga was sworn in as the people's president of the Republic of Kenya. But what did he do? What did Raila do? He turned his back and went ahead and shook the very hands of the men and women who were ordering the killing of the youth in Kisumu. Never did he call for any justice for the family members of the young men and women who were gunned down in Nyalenda. To this very day. Fast forward 2022. Some of you might say, oh, for those who are Luos, how can I care? Well, 2022, it was more than Luos. Lawyers were behind him. Other tribes were behind him. What happened? Again, Ruto ordered the killings of the youth in Nyalenda, brutalized. We saw the pictures. Then they went and had a bullshit commemoration in Karen, Nairobi. In attendance was Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka. Why didn't they have that vigil in Nyalenda, Kisumu, where the actual butchering was happening? Today, this man took advantage of his few left followers, lied to them that I will make sure the server is open, I will tell the president to bring down the cost of living, I will collect signatures along with Martha Karua, and we shall overturn this thing, and I shall take you to Canaan. Only to be seen with Museveni and William Samoei Ruto. Then he came out and abandoned the mission. Came out with Obasanjo telling us that he's going for AU. He could care less any longer about opening the server. He could care less about electoral justice. He could care less about the signatures. He could care less about the president. He could care less about the cost of living. If anything, he became the first, the biggest government Ruto propagandist. Ruto gave him 10 billion for his AU campaign. You saw him on a private jet with Mukao Mutua, another useless professor. Now, for somebody to come to the TV, national media, trying to tell us that people hate Raila Odinga because he's an enigma, because of his tribe, or because of this. My friend, you need to be stoned. I've just highlighted a few major things that Raila has done to betray majority of Kenyans. Still, you don't get it? Do you see why Kenyans are finding emails of head of states to make sure Raila fails? Raila is just as bad as Ruto. Raila is just bad as Uhuru Kenyatta. The Kenyan people want them all gone. Especially Raila Odinga, because he pretended for years to be on the struggle. Ruto and Uhuru was understood to be on the wrong side of history. We knew they were puppets from the word go. They were illegitimate from the day they were sworn in. But Raila, you Raila Odinga, you pretended to be on the side of the struggle. You pretended to be fighting to address the problems Kenyans are facing. You pretended. You even led us to Mandamano. Thousands upon thousands were killed. Only for you to betray the struggle and join the oppressors. So don't act surprised when Kenyans hate Raila Odinga. It is for a good reason. It is for a good reason, Raila Odinga. You have nowhere to hide. Now here's the option you will have. Because I know after you lose that seat in AU, you will jet back to Kenya and start your shenanigans. Pretend again that you're against Ruto. to fool the few that will believe in your conmanship. But Kenyans are waiting for you. Kenyans are waiting for you. This is a different generation of Kenyans. These are not the old folks who are in their 70s and 60s, who are used to look at you as an enigma. These are young folks who are educated, who has the internet, who have the information, and are well aware of your conmanship. So good luck coming in 2027, trying to act, not even 2027, 2025 next year, February. Try to pretend that, oh, you'll be at odds with Ruto. Oh, you'll be joining Gachagua. Oh, we shall make sure you retire permanently from Kenyan politics. Kenyans have all the right to hate Raila. Some of you say hate is a strong word. Yes, hate him. Because he has made people shed blood. For what? For him to make millions and get into government. So, Raila Odinga, that is why Kenyans, majority of the Kenyans, are sick and tired of you. You only help yourself and your family. Look who they nominated for the Iala parliamentary seats. Kalonzo's son and Raila's daughter. Raila's sister was just nominated by Ruto to become the minister of I don't know what. Oburu is 155 years old. Still wants to be the senator from Siaya. Never shows up in the Senate. Only when it comes to removing Gachagua, then you see him there. Raila, you'll have nowhere to hide. You have betrayed Kenyans since 1982. And you've shed innocent blood. And this is the time for you to pay up. Pay up, Raila Odinga. You will pay up. You can't run away. I don't care. Sifuna will not help you. All those ODM members from Nyanza shall not help you. You better come up with a strategy to work on your retirement. Because we already know when you come back from AUC failure, you'll pretend to be opposing Ruto. You will pretend to be criticizing Ruto. Because you will be eyeing 2027 or the change of the constitution for you to get a seat. Kenyans shall not allow it. It is time for Kenyans to take revenge on Raila Odinga for his betrayal. You, along with Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, shall fall. Let it be clear. So for all of you who come and try to make this Raila issue a Luo issue, it is not a Luo issue. Raila stands alone as himself. He has misused, abused, and exploited poorly educated Luo youth who has died. Who have died in the name of Raila Odinga. Those days are over, Raila Odinga. Your time is up. The writing is on the wall. You're better off bribing the heads of states so you can make it to AU. Because you're done in Kenya. You're done. Finito. Sayonara. Adios. This is not the same generation that was poorly educated with no information about your history. We have your files, Raila Odinga. You will not fool Kenyans anymore. So don't buy into Raila when he comes back to Kenya after failing in AU, pretending to be opposing Ruto, because I know that is what they'll come up with. They'll pretend that they're now opposing each other. Kenyans will not allow it, Raila Odinga. Conman. So for you, Kalumas and Robert Alai, you can make it a tribal issue, but we are not fools. We understand the games that you're playing. Try to pit one tribe against each other. But even the Luos are not standing with you, Raila Odinga. As a matter of fact, you're not even a Luo. That is why the so-called hatred against Raila is stemming from. It comes from years and years of betrayal by one man who have managed to exploit millions of youth who are poor, millions of youth who believed in him, millions of youth who gave him a chance and even made him the president of Kenya. And he turned his back for 30 pieces of silver. This con man, this charlatan, this welder from Opoda who's pretending, masquerading as an engineer, this class 6 dropout. Your time is up, Raila Odinga. I don't care if your feelings are hurt, you Raila supporters. You deserve every abuse that comes to you. You can't be this stupid if 2024 you're still routing for this proven con man. ODM is a terrorist organization led by Ayaton Opoda Raila Odinga. What has James Orengo done for Siaya except looting money along with Oburu Odinga? What has Gladys Wanga done for Homa Bay? Looting Homa Bay dry. Kenyans should stand up. It's time for a revolution. Anyone who is okay with Ruto should be taken to the guillotine. Popular revolution. I don't care about Okiom Tata. As far as I know, Okiom Tata is a sellout. If he is truly principled, then let him not declare to be president and fight and say Ruto must go. All these presidential candidates are working for Ruto. All of them. Let it be clear. Nice seeing you, Gypsy Corner. As I said, I will keep it 30 minutes. But all this, anyone who is not saying Ruto must go is working for Ruto. Whether it's Okiom Tata, Morara, Kasmuel, Hanifa, Boniface Mwangi, anyone who's not saying Ruto must, who's not calling for a popular people's revolution to remove Ruto now is working for Ruto. Pure and simple. There's no ifs, if or buts about it. We don't care about the IBC.
Ruto must go. If there's any mandamano, it should be Ruto must go. Evacuate the State House. Karibu Shi. Nice seeing you. And Ruto will not be going by himself. After Ruto goes, we will arrest Raila Odinga. We will arrest Ruto. We will arrest Murkomen. We will arrest Uhuru Kenyatta. We will arrest Karua. We will arrest all of them. I'm going to finish. I will come in later on. I'm sorry, my friends. I know you're just joining. But like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're going to watch and repeat, follow me on Twitter and all that stuff. I'll see you later. Viva! Power to the Kenyan people. Sovereign people of Kenya.